this is going to be an interesting Loud House vs. Casagrandes video, considering that these two episodes are really good. Not only that these two episodes involve friendship, but at the same time it involves the main character trying to do the right thing, all the while trying to make a choice at the end of the day. But let's be real, these two characters can't be able to make choices for not only their own, but for their friends. Everybody Loves Leni and An Udder Mess are really great episodes. I honestly felt like that in the Casagrandes episode, with Ryan being in the position to pick either Lincoln or Sid is honestly a difficult choice, because Sid is a lot more likable, and when it comes to Leni's situation, she's dealing with 2 to 2 who don't like each other completely. In all honesty, it really shows that Leni is willing to make the best out of any situation, except the odds are a lot more against her compared to Ryan's. Then again, Ryan won 2 tickets to Dairyland and she needs to bring one friend with her, which led to her either picking Lincoln or Sid. And considering that Lincoln had went to Dairyland multiple times, he is instantly thrilled to go to Dairyland, but when it comes to Sid, I don't even think that she ever went to Dairyland. In Everybody Loves Leni, I understand that Leni wasn't picking between 2 friends. It's mainly her friends that don't like each other, and they would rather prefer Leni to stay with them. But when it comes to the other friends not enjoying the fact that one of their friends are hanging out with other people that they don't even know or don't even like, they're rude. And that's really the case of Miguel, Fiona, Jackie, and Mandy. Leni's situation in this really shows of how much that they really wanted this season to be all about Leni, mainly the fact that she has one of the best episodes. Shop Girl and now this. Granted, it's mostly debatable considering that this season is somewhat equal when it comes to the amount of characters getting their own episodes, but I really feel like that these episodes really shows that they're really increasing the character developments of the Loud siblings. And I really felt like that Leni really did a good job into doing the right thing, but also making a stand for herself, even though that at the end of the episode, her friends apologized to her, but we're gonna get to that later. Ryan in An Udder Mess just goes to show that she's just trying to be the better friend, because this episode in some other capacity is somewhat similar to Dance Dance Resolution, only in this case Ryan is the main character, all the while trying to pick the best friends that she prefers the most. Granted, in Dance Dance Resolution, Lincoln is dealing with a situation where he was forced to go to the dance and Ryan is there, but at the same time, considering that Lincoln really had mixed thoughts while being at the dance ever since he encountered most of the girls that his sisters picked out for him. But if Clyde was in this scenario where he had to pick Clyde over Ryan, it would probably be a lot more different, knowing full well that there were little screen time between Clyde and Ryan together. Granted, I understand that when Ryan moved to Great Lake City, things have changed when it comes to Lincoln's friendships. But to be honest with you, it kind of shows that Ryan's position in this compared to how Lincoln's position in Dance Dance Resolution was a lot more different. A lot has changed. So much so that if this had something to do with romance, then I can guarantee you that the episode wouldn't be as good. Besides, that would have been a lot more similar when it came to the episode while Lori was faking a date with Clyde to go against, in order to get the affection back from Bobby, who was hanging out with Lincoln. In all honesty, I really don't even know which side to deal with when it comes to the different type of scenario if that type of formula happened in this episode. Getting back to the Leni episode, Fiona and Miguel really sums up a lot onto how Leni is just trying to deal with her life doing her job. Considering that she encounters these characters when it comes to them having a job at the mall, or some of them in some other capacity, I really felt like that Miguel and Fiona are just basically the type of people who can see Leni closely, but at the same time when it comes to the other friends, mainly Mandy, and Jackie, they think otherwise. Like, Fiona is the character that didn't know Lincoln and Clyde personally in one of the A-Savvy episodes that were part of Season 3. So it kind of makes sense onto why Fiona and Miguel aren't gonna be close friends to one of Leni's friends. When it comes to Mandy and Jackie, they're really similar to Leni. I mean, not completely when it comes to personality, but when it comes to hobbies, it really shows that Fiona and Miguel are nothing like Jackie and Mandy. And to be honest with you, as much as I understand that these characters were being rude against Leni in this episode, if you look closely at how they were acted and how they were portrayed, since this is the first episode they actually meet with each other, it will take time to get used to becoming new friends with the other person's friends. I mean, granted, they were also being immature for how they were acted, especially of how they were being rude towards Leni, but at the same time, in other scenarios in real life when this type of stuff happens, I'm pretty sure that they wanted to make this a lot more different, knowing full well that they just wanted to get some kind of attention from that certain person, knowing full well that the title of the episode sums up everything of what Leni is going through and how her friends are portrayed. Then again, if Leni was willing to take her friends to any place, which includes Dairyland, I would probably think it would be a lot more expensive, knowing full well that what she did in the basement would have been a lot less stressful compared to what Ryan had went through for the majority of An Udder Mess. Since that she got some help from Carl, and the fact that she spent the majority of the second half of the episode inside of the cow suit, I can't imagine what it would have been like if she would probably do this for a birthday party for one of her friends, all the while that her other friends have something really important going on. Like, an important event and an important birthday party would probably be something that would probably break Ryan completely. If I'm gonna be honest, if Lincoln and Sid were portrayed as the same way as Leni's friends, then I'm pretty sure that it would have been a lot more predictable, knowing full well that it would have been the same scenario all over again, except that it's taking place in Dairyland in a bigger environment compared to Leni's scenario. Well, she was in the basement throughout the entire time trying to get all friends together, despite her friends being rude to each other. Which is honestly a good thing, because once Ryan got exposed when it comes to her being out of disguise, they get kicked out, only for Sid and Lincoln to reconcile with Ryan, and they didn't mind on whatever friend she picks. Which led to the security guard being a hypocrite and allowed the three to come back into Dairyland. You know, the hypocrisy in this show when it comes to multiple characters is all over the place, but all I can say is that the security guard in this episode is trying way too hard to make the ending really heartwarming. And also trying to make the down-to-earth elements in this a lot more toned down compared to the previous seasons of The Loud House. Like, there was a difference on being too nice, but when it comes to this, it really feels like that they wanted to give this ending a much more wholesome ending when it comes to the reconciling of Ryan, Lincoln, and Sid. This isn't really one of the worst hypocrisies from the characters, but at the same time, it really feels like that they're trying to make the ending really good. But at the same time, it doesn't compare to Everybody Loves Leni. After her friends left her in order to do their own thing, they also encounter with each other, only to realize that one of the people inside of the changing rooms wasn't Leni completely. So they decide to make up, only for Leni to actually step up for herself, until she realized that her friends apologized to her. You know, if we actually had a scene where Leni stands up for herself against her friends, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't turn out good, because it really shows that Leni is having a difficult time thinking straight, other than being nice. And considering that in some episodes in the later seasons where she actually does make a stand for herself, I'm starting to convince that without Chris Savino, I think other people will be able to handle Leni's character correctly. But that isn't saying much, knowing full well that in some episodes, it's mainly the other way around. But I'll get to that when I get to that. Then again, it's really wholesome for Leni's friends to actually come together, which led to the remainder of the series with all of them becoming friends. I have to be really honest with you, if we didn't have an episode like this, then having Mandy, Jackie, Miguel, and Fiona as friends together will probably be a lot more off-putting. So it really shows that this episode is a continuation of Leni's development when it comes to her relationships with these characters. Regardless if these characters aren't going to have a lot of major appearances, considering that the other Loud siblings are more important, it doesn't change to the fact that I actually enjoy them a lot more from this episode and as the series progressed, which really sums up onto why people prefer the Leni episodes over the others. When it comes to An Utter Mess, it's a great episode, but compared to Everybody Loves Leni, it's the superior episode over the Casagrandes episode. And to be really honest with you, it kind of sums up that even if this episode isn't better, it still does a good job on being its own thing, knowing full well that it centers around Ryan than Lincoln. I think that one of the best episodes involving Ryan is where she actually takes center stage instead of being somewhat similar to Lincoln. Granted, I did state before that she was being way too similar to Lincoln, and they are, but when it comes to these episodes, it shows that she's gained development, especially after the episodes that she appeared way earlier in the series. I give Everybody Loves Leni a 9.5 out of 10, while An Utter Mess gets a 9 out of 10.